So a little while ago, Mike interviewed me about my block list and about how things had, how I got started and my interest in privacy and stuff like that. And I thought it would be interesting to have a chat with Mike because he's actually quite an interesting guy. So that's what we're going to do in today's Not So Critical update.
I'm not totally sure I accept the premise of the introduction, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I am interesting.
What did you think? How did you think I was going to go, Mike?
I don't know. I mean, look, I like talking about myself. It's one of my favorite topics. Probably could do the entire segment without you even here, but have at it.
All right. So, Mike, tell us, how long have you been such an asshole exactly? When did this start? When do you think this? No, I'm sorry. We have a long-standing feud because Mike has some fundamentally different and incorrect viewpoints on tracking. But no, seriously, Mike, how did you get into? Okay, all right, yeah. How did you get into marketing?
Into marketing?
Yeah.
So I came to marketing from technology. I had a managed services company that was failing.
So you would just do and a managed service, an MSP. You looked after other people's networks and stuff, right?
Yeah, I did computer. So in 2007, I had a job as technology director at a web design company, and was getting frustrated there and thought, like a lot of people think, like, hey, if any jackass can run a business, then I'm a jackass. I can probably run a business. So I left
the American way.
That's right. I left that job in October of 2007, which is remarkable because it was the month of the beginning of the official beginning of the market collapse that led to the Great Recession. So excellent timing to go start a business. I really struggled for several years, and I think it was actually New Year's Eve of 2010, and I was just like, rock bottom, not making any money, struggling, miserable, hated it. And I was like in the process of deciding to just shut down the whole thing and go get a job. And I came across a Robin Robbins webinar for marketing for IT business owners.
Oh.
And it was like, I want to say it was even like a couple $1,000s or a couple $100 at least. It was pretty expensive. I think it was a couple $1,000, but it came with a money back guarantee. So I figured, well, look, I'm about to shut down anyway. It's a money back guarantee. I've got nothing to lose. And I tried it and it worked and it kept working and my business started growing and it was fun.
So it was because of marketing?
Yeah.
So if Robin Robbins is like a marketing guru or something?
Yep. She's within the managed services industry, pretty well known. There are a couple people who do that kind of training, but she's one of them. She's one of the bigger ones, and it's kind of funny because like it's kind of like old school marketing. So one of the strategies was like this long form sales letter, like 8, 9, 10 page sales letter that you actually printed, put in an envelope, and mailed to somebody's business. And the last page was a fax back form where somebody could fax.
2007, not 1997.
No. Right? But the best part is, like, I'd think like, this is ridiculous. It's never going to work, but whatever. Robin said, do it. So I'm going to do it. I had people fax back the form. I had people fill it out, scan it, and send it back to me. I had one guy who I went to his office and he had it filled out and sitting on his desk, and he handed it to me when I went for the sales call. So like, people talk about marketing doesn't work and whatever doesn't work. Like, marketing works. I have seen it firsthand. Everybody says marketing doesn't work, but it works. And I just fell in love with marketing, and I decided I liked that better than technology, so I moved over.
So when you say you moved over, what was that? Where did you move from the MSP world?
Well,
did you still shut down?
I sold that company. Took a couple months of vacation, a retire early sale, but you know, it was okay. Did some executive coaching for a while and ended up going to work at a
just slip that in there, executive coaching.
Well, based on selling the IT and what I learned about marketing, most of what small business owners need most is sales. They know how to do the thing that they do. You and I actually had this whole conversation recently. They know how to do the thing. I knew how to fix computers. I just didn't know how to sell computer repair services. And that's where a lot of business owners really get off the track. So I spent some time talking to business owners about what I learned selling IT support. And one of my clients hired me to help run his software startup, which was a digital marketing analytics company. So this, and what I do now is still on the technology side of marketing, but I still get to leverage that tech background. I was a web developer for 15 years. So I still get to do that, but in the marketing domain largely.
Wow. So, so that's really interesting. I love the fact that you're an executive coach. I can imagine you going in and just selling people, you know, you're wrong, you're doing it wrong. This is how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the best part.
So, like, what did you do before web? Like, let's delve deep into the past. You know, we all know you're getting on up.
So I went to Penn State out of high school to study music education.
And holy shit! No way. Music education.
Yep. Music education.
What is that?
Teaching kids how to play musical instruments. So I played saxophone. I went to Penn State. It was cool. In my second semester, I had to do a classroom experience. So like not a like student teaching kind of thing, but just go be in a music classroom for a couple of days. And I went to a second grade music classroom as an observer. And so second grade music is like glockenspiels and is like grading things and slide whistles and recorders and all this stuff, right? I spent one day in that classroom and decided music education is not for me. I need someplace.
Theoretical level.
No, couldn't take it. I need someplace that's less chaotic. 3 months later, I was at Marine Corps boot camp.
Wow. Okay, that's a big jump. Were there many other people from musical education who were just like?
I don't think so, and I don't know if it's necessarily fair to call it less chaotic. Well, it is. So what I liked about it is Marine Corps military, the boot camp, is very structured and regimented, and there are very clear rules that are easy to follow and easy to understand, and I loved it. So I did that for 5 years. Did some very cool things there. And then got out and started teaching myself programming, and that led eventually to the managed services company.
That's an eclectic background, I have to say. Music education, Marine Corps, MSP, web developer, executive coach. No, web developer, MSP, executive coach, and now marketing guru to the stars.
So I'll give you one more sidetrack along the way. Is as I was, so I taught myself programming after I got out of the Marine Corps, but I decided I wanted to get my college degree, so I went to the University of Delaware for computer science. However, I was already working full-time as a programmer and didn't feel like I needed what they were teaching me in computer science, so I actually got my degree in sports management.
What? How does that work?
Yeah,
did you went in for the CS degree and then?
Yeah. I just felt frustrated. Like, it was hard. I could do it. I was fine. I was good at it. But it was a lot of work. And I was already working full time and making a living as a programmer. So I felt like I just didn't need it. But I still wanted the degree. I paid for it with a GI Bill. So I got a degree. I just got a degree in something fun.
Oh, you just switched. Okay. Yeah. What viewers may not know is that Mike is exceptionally healthy. And no. He does training for triathlons.
That doesn't make me healthy. That makes me strong.
Well, is that not the same thing?
My diet's really bad.
I mean, how can you do a triathlon if you?
I work a lot harder than I need to, I'm sure, to offset it.
It's really difficult. Like, you make your life.
Yeah. No, on the health front, I don't do myself a lot of favors with my diet. It's something I'm definitely working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, let's maybe stay away from food then, I suppose. Do you cook yourself?
No, I should.
Oh, okay.
That could help me.
But
no, I
don't want to bring up any
full
sort
spectrum of bad habits on the eating front.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, for you're American, so we've got to give you some
yeah, fit right in.
So where do you see yourself going? Like, where would you like to be in 5 years? This is the interview, obviously, again. So
yeah, I don't know.
What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? Tell me about a project that you worked on that you're happy with.
What am I interviewing for here? Are you like? Are you trying to decide if I can stay on the show or like?
I've done too many recruiting interviews lately. I'm sort of yeah. But genuinely, like, do you have any like life goals that you want to tick off?
So on the triathlon front, I do want to run an Ironman triathlon at some point. The races that I've done are sprint and Olympic distance. So Olympic distance
is nothing to me.
Olympic distance is a 1 mile swim, a 20-mile bike ride, and a 5 mile or 6 mile run.
I might be able to just about do that.
Yeah,
just about.
Ironman is I think it's a 3 mile swim in that ballpark, maybe 2.5.
Okay, there.
100 to 120 mile bike ride, and then a full marathon.
26 miles.
Yeah. So that's I'd like to do that at some point. I'm not going to podium. I'm not going to like win my age group, but I'd like to do the race, and I think I could finish.
Yeah, well, the over 80s is a very competitive age group. So
yeah. I will share. I'm 48 years old. I have never been bothered by age, but 48 is really close to 50. So for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, now I'm getting old. Never bothered me before. I never had that thought, but now it's getting real.
I don't know if you think that might actually stop us mocking you so much, but it's not. It's not. It's probably going to make it worse. Okay.
Amy laughs at me because I watch our show and just like laugh hysterically because this episode is
wife, by the way.
It's probably too embarrassing to watch. But so this leads to I said I had a story that I was going to tell you. I was watched. How did that go? Oh, so Amy, we were sitting on the couch, not watching the show. Amy made some reference to ZDNet, the publication. And I thought, why did you say it that way? That's like, why did you say that? And she goes, because I heard Peter say it that way on your show and I thought it was funny. And so I was like blown away. I thought like, my first thought was like, oh, Amy watches the show. That's awesome. But then my second thought was, is Peter her favorite character?
Yes. Go, Amy.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I was afraid to ask. I don't really want to know the answer to that question, but I have a suspicion that she watches for you, not for me. And we are characters on the show. None of us are actually like this in real life.
No, that's not true at all. You are exactly like this in real life. Do not listen to him. He is in no way exaggerated in any form at all. And a lot of people who are watching it are friends and family.
Yeah,
Hi, Dad.
That's true.
Again,
Mark.
And
Amy?
And I don't think they would say that we're characters. No.
Yeah. In fact, I when I watch the show, sometimes. So I was watching something, and I said, I don't know, is that really true? And Amy from the next room goes, are you arguing with yourself? Like, look, people can change their minds. Me from a week ago might have believed something differently than I do today. I don't know.
All right. So let me get back to you, Mike. There's a couple of questions. So, what do you think? What would your memoirs be called?
Oh boy, started too late.
No, started too late. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, we start where we are. It's the only place we can start. But boy. I mean, I'm sure everybody would say the same thing. I wish I could have started earlier.
Wait, no, but it's the point. It's your memoirs. It's just the first thing that kind of pops into your head about like, okay, that's cool, but that's good. You started at least. Some people never get there.
Yeah. And actually started early. I got married when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
So.
This is one side of Mike that I find very difficult to mock. One of the very few sides, but he does have an adorable relationship with his wife. The high school sweethearts, huh?
That's true. Yeah. 28 years. Seems like it's going to work out. Probably a little
Wait,
over
wasn't
halfway
it
now.
27 years last time I asked you? Have you had
Oh,
an
27. What
lately?
did I say? Did I say 28? Something like that.
You think you said 20? You're ruining it now. You're ruining the
What? It's like
romantic image I have of you.
It's in the ballpark of 27 years.
Yeah, I suppose after that long it gets
27 sounds right. Let's go with that.
Okay. If you could only
she knows
eat
what
one
she
meal
got.
for
She's
the
not
rest...
going to be bothered.
It's too late to return it.
Yeah.
Out of warranty.
Good luck. Good luck finding a trade in.
One meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, man. So this would be horrible to eat for the rest of my life, but Dunkin' Donuts has maple frosted donuts that are only in season this time of year.
Oh, really?
And I love them. So I wouldn't eat that every day, but like they're really good right now. I mean, the true answer is probably, unfortunately, pizza.
Yeah.
Way up on the list. I wish I could say it was something like, oh, I love salad or whatever, but
I kind of feel like pizza is cheating though, because it's, if you were to order a pizza, you could just say, hey, I'll have pizza, please. You have to say a specific type of pizza.
Well, the same thing's true of like any recipe. You'd be like, hey, I want lasagna with maple frosted donuts in it. Hold the lasagna.
All right. You go into a mall. No. Okay. All right. Where do you think the technology is taking us in the world? Do you think that we're ever
to hell?
Genuinely.
You've seen the intro. I'm the fatalist. You know that, right? Yeah. I mean, oh man. I mean, I don't know if you've heard anything about U.S. politics lately, but it's kind of a mess. Direction technology is going in. Social media sucks. We talk about all this tracking stuff. Like, I mean, we're headed for a dystopian future. How could it turn out any other way than the way Aldous Huxley wrote it, right? Like these guys are popular for a reason. Like they know what they're talking about. I hope, Star Trek's in the mix too. Maybe we get that version of the future. Don't see it.
Do you think there'll be a tipping point? Do you think that tipping point has already happened? Are we beyond the point of no return?
God, combined with global warming, like not to be overly optimistic about this, but our chances aren't good.
Yeah, well,
I mean, look,
it's good people restrain yourself there.
The thing that could turn this all around are people. So no, I don't think we're going to turn it around.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I know that's a very dim view of the future, but
another thing I should probably mention to people that
hopefully my son is in college. Hopefully his generation is just better at this stuff than we are, because that's really our only chance. So if I have anything that I feel optimistic about, I think it's that group.
Oh, that's very actually quite a noble thing to say, quite a generous thing, but probably what they said last time around as well. So,
I hope not.
Maybe we just spoke.
Yeah, I think there are good signs that this upcoming generation, not millennials, not a chance. I'm not putting any money on them saving us, but like Gen Z, I think that could be the key to the future for sure.
I think maybe
I have no problem with millennials. I'm sure all the millennials at Bleeping Computer are fine people, whatever.
Okay, boomer. Okay. I think you might be right. The problem is that millennials or the younger generation turn into the older generation at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
Then things start going downhill. So anyway, that's another discussion.
We've been going super long. Where are we headed with this?
No, that's it. I was going to wrap up. I think I should probably mention that you have another podcast. If you want to just plug that for a second.
I don't have another. What podcast? I don't have another podcast.
I think you did a political thing.
That was a aspirational joke that John says. The Not So Political podcast when I veer off into political topics. I'm going to start that podcast. I'm actually just looking for a co-host, but I don't have anything to promote yet, but I will do it.
Okay.
If somebody wants to join me for Not So Political updates, I am 100% in on another show in the Not So Podcast Network.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, Mike. That was absolutely fascinating, and real pleasure to get to ask you those kind of questions.
I love it. Any other time you need me to talk about myself, I am in.
I will say to anybody listening that I was going to prepare some questions, and I didn't. So next time we're going to delve deep into Mike's sexual history, and perhaps talk about no.
Whoa.
That's on the other podcast. That's the
not so appropriate podcast. Not so appropriate update.
Not so appropriate update. Yeah.